In this video, I'm going to show you a hack on how to get high quality resources for your design project, and this is coming up. Hi everybody, Innocent here and welcome to the channel. Over here we make videos like this. If that is something that sounds like you're interested, kindly consider subscribing. So I get asked a lot, where do you get these high quality images for your designs? And to answer that particular question, I don't have a particular website that I used. I almost gather different resources from different websites, put them together for my design project. So in this video, I'm going to show you the hack on how I come about these high quality resources and how you can also apply them in your design. Let's get into the video. All right, so I recently made this particular design over here. I made a tutorial on that. If you want to check it, a link will be in the description. So I'm going to use this as a case study to show you how I gathered the resources for this particular project. The first thing you need to understand is that every design comes from an inspiration. So the moment you get your design project, you're going to search for inspiration, or you're going to gather the design inspiration. I made a video on how to search for design inspiration and website to get inspiration. So let's assume that this is our inspiration. This is how we want to go about our design. Once you find your inspiration, you're going to figure out a couple of things that you need from the inspiration. So your design inspiration could be two different things. So you can have this particular design, one other design, or let's say three designs that you are going to pick things from. So let's assume that we got all our inspiration from this design, but not the same design. In that case, when you look at this design, you realize that we are going to need first off a pizza. You also realize that over here, you can zoom in, and then you realize that there are some kind of particles, there are some kind of sparkle, you can call it sparkle particles. You just have to figure out what you see in the inspiration. And when you take a critical look over here, you have this particular leaf or flower, whatever you want to call it. And then you also have the smoke over here. On the right side, you are going to have your text, all your text, and then you're going to have this heart symbol, and you have this paint splatter or this kind of brushed rectangle, if you want to call it that way. And then you have some slice of pieces also here. So you realize that the background is not that smooth, so we have some rough edges, and then we are going to have a gradient, and there is a love sign over here. So find a background that matches the love sign or that has a love sign, and then we can use it and apply it into this design. Now, once you are able to identify all of these, it is time to search for your resources. And it is very important to get to understand or know some of the things that you really want to search for. For instance, if you want to search for this particular one here and you don't know that this is a pizza, it is going to be a problem. So having a fair idea of what you are searching for is going to go a long way to help you. So this is a folder of all the resources that I gathered, and I didn't use, or I didn't make use of all of the images that I downloaded. And when you look at all of these elements, you realize that it has different names coming from different places, different websites altogether. So now it is time to search for our resource. Back to our inspiration, the first one we want to search for is a pizza. And if you look at the pizza that I use over here, depending on how you want your design to go, I try to get as many PNG files as possible. PNG file is basically any file without a background, so it assumes the background of the project that you are creating. So let's jump onto the internet and let's see how we gather these resources. So we are looking for a pizza. First of all, you can go for a broad idea on what pizza or what type of pizza that you are looking for. If you have an idea of what you want, you can also add it. So in this case, I'm going to go general, so pizza, and then I'm going to add PNG to it because I want PNG, or I want a pizza without a background so that I don't stress taking off the background. So I'm going to search something like pizza images PNG. Now I'm going to advise that you start this process from Google. This is because Google is going to give you lots of different links, and most of the links or the website that we are going to look at is already embedded or found on Google. So I think you should start off from Google, though not all the images that I found on Google are kind of very free, but starting from here is going to help you. Now we are presented with images from Google that we can choose from, but here is the hack. you go to the images section here, and then you are going to find the broader version of the pieces that you want to. So if you scroll through over here, you're going to see a lot of them. Like, there are so many pizza. But look at this one here. When you look under the images, you're going to be presented with different links to different PNG websites that you can download these pieces from. So the hack is that you're not going to download the images from here. In fact, there are some of the images that if you download from here, you're going to actually find out that it's not PNG. So what you can do is that you come onto the link here, and then you're going to click on that link. It is going to take you to the main PNG website, and look at what we find here. There are so many PNG pieces that we can download, and the truth is that the images that you download from this website or the actual website here is going to be of high quality in most cases than the one that you find on Google. So you are sent to pngegg.com, and then you can download your pizza from here. So look at this one. You can download any one of them. And one thing is that most of these PNG websites are free. You can download high quality resources for free. So now you have your pizza. How do you get the sparkles or the particles or the smoke? Basically the same process. So you go back to Google, and then you're going to search for, let's say, particles. And you can see here that I try to add specific things to it so that I can get exactly what I want. So in one of my searches, for instance, I said particles with black background. This is going to help me to use the screen, the blend mode screen. So if you look at one here, for instance, and in this case, for these things like particles, you can download the images that you find on Google, because at the end of the day, this one, for instance, it has a black background. When you go into Photoshop and you change the blend mode to black, you're going to get the particles out of it, and you don't have to really stress yourself going to the actual website. But of course, if you also take your time to go to the website, sometimes you get the very high quality images. And there is the smoke as well, so you can search for smoke. And for things like this, I would normally advise that you don't go for images. Instead, you're going to go for things like brushes and that kind of stuff. So if you scroll down over here, you're going to be presented with different websites, and I've already talked about Brush Breezy on this website before. That is where I download almost all my brushes for my Photoshop designs. So you can go to a website like Brush Breezy, and it says free smoke Photoshop brushes. So you're going to click on that, and it will take you to the website. And in this case, you're going to be able to download different smoke brushes according to your liking, how you want it. You can download different brushes or smoke brushes for your project as well. So you can click on free download, and afterwards you're going to install it in Photoshop, and then you can go ahead and use it. If you have no idea how to install brushes, I have a video on that. You might as well want to check it out. So now that we have our brushes, let's talk about the background. So for the background, it all depends on what you normally want to do. In most cases, when I'm starting out background, I try to search for like related background. So for instance, this project that we worked on was related to Valentine's Day. So I could go something like Valentine's Day background images, and I'm going to add HD to it. The HD is basically going to make sure that I find images that are of high quality or high definition. So once you search for this, you are also going to be presented with different images, and of course you can go ahead and choose so many of these ones. And again, if you realize from here, you're going to see that you're going to be having links, or you're going to be presented with links that you can click on them to find high quality backgrounds for these kind of projects. So this one, for instance, can be a very good fit for a Valentine's Day design. So you can download something like this. You can as well go ahead and choose all of these ones, but make sure that you are getting an image that resonates with the project that you are working. In that case, it sells out the design to the targeted audience very easily. And also for the elements, we can go for something like Valentine's Day. So Valentine's Day hearts. So you see that you are going to also get different type of heart images. And then if you are lucky, you are going to find the type of heart that I got. I can't even remember the one that I actually got. So you can download something like this. There is also one like this one. there is one here also, and all of these, it has links or websites that contains them, so you can click on these websites to explore more and to get more about it. Now I know that there are a lot of websites like Pexels that we normally talk about when we are trying to talk about where to find design resources, but the truth is that some of these websites are mainly for images, high quality images, and for some basic things like elements, sparkles, fonts, brushes, you can't actually find them on these websites. And that is why using this particular approach that I showed you is going to get you to different websites that you don't even imagine exist, and it is going to get you some high quality resources that you can use for your design project. That said, let me take this opportunity to show you how to get all the design resources that I put in the description of my videos, because I've realized that a lot of you have problem identifying these resources. So one thing that I've actually been doing these days is that I put all the design resources on my website. So once you watch the video and you want to get it, you have to go to the website to download it. But I leave a link to the website also in the description. So if you chance on my videos, especially from on a laptop like this, what you can do is that you scroll down a little bit and then you are going to see the description. Once you find the description, even on your phone, you're going to see the same thing. So you're going to click on show more, and then you presented with a lot of links. And this is my Fiverr website. This is where to download the resources and a lot of other links. So this is the link that we are looking for, download resource. So you're going to click on that, and then it is going to send you a blog post on my website that contains the design resource. Once you are here, you're going to scroll down a little bit. You're going to find download resources. So inside of that, you're going to find images and design elements, and then you can click on that. And the font that I used, I also leave the links, all of them in here as well. So if you want to download the images and elements, you click on this link again, and it will take you to a Google Drive that contains all the elements, the images, and then all that you need for that particular project that you watch. So yeah, if you come across any of my videos, that is how to find the resources that I used. So yeah, here is a quick recap of all that I discussed. The first thing is identify your inspiration and try to identify all that you need for your design. Once you do that, go onto the internet and try to use action search words to search for those resources, and make sure that you know most of the names of the things that we really want, because that is going to give you an upper hand on finding the correct and the precise resources for your project. I hope you gained value out of this video. If you did, and subscribe to the channel will be so very much appreciated. Thank you so much for sticking around to watch this video, and I'll see you guys in the next video. It's Innocent here, and bye.